Ladies and gentlemen, the brand new Call of Duty podcast just dropped, and they've released a lot of information for the future of Black Ops 6 Zombies. Not just about Citadelle Day More, but also about some other gameplay changes that are coming really soon. So in this video, we're going to discuss a lot of these changes, and you also see a few clips that I took from my reaction to this COD podcast, which I did record, and you will see some of the clips of that as well in this video. So first things first, let's talk about Citadelle Day More itself. They did mention a couple things about it that we didn't already know. Some of the other things are things that were leaked, so they just kind of confirmed leaks that we already heard about. First of all, Kevin Drew made it very clear that this map is going to lean more into the magic part of zombies as opposed to the scientific part of zombies.
You know, Liberty Falls, a little bit more modern, a little bit more, you know, urban area. Terminus is this sort of, you know, a lot of concrete, a lot of, you know, sort of spy lab vibe going on. So this is a really exciting departure, you know, design-wise. See, creepy castles, lots of cobblestones, basically. Is the vibe I'm getting.
Very old, very ancient, just moving away from kind of, the old like facilities and things like that. This is just old world. Lots of magic here.
I love how he said that. Moving away from facilities. Thank you, Kevin Drew. Thank you for saying that.
There's always kind of two sides to zombies. There's the scientific horror aspect where we're crafting all these wonder weapons.
And then the magic side.
Every once in a while we get to go to the other side where it's more just pure magic, like the roots of Dark Ether.
I love it.
That makes me happy.
History and Arthurian legend, like the magic and those
Arthurian
things
legend
directly into what we're doing here.
Interesting. This obviously excites me a lot because I've been kind of tired of the scientific militaristic feel that Zombies has had really ever since Cold War. They really haven't gone nearly as deep with the magic side of it in quite some time. And Kevin seems to confirm here that Citadelle Day More will dive into that magic side of Zombies way more, especially with a lot of like King Arthur legends and such. And I think that's so cool that they're going to be doing that within this map. I cannot wait to see what the Easter egg is going to be like. Kevin Drew also mentions that the map is going to be very big, not necessarily as big as Terminus, but it will be a lot more condensed and compacted with more tighter corridors and just overall a lot more density to it. But it's not going to have all that surface area that Terminus had. Obviously, Terminus had a whole ocean in it, so obviously it was going to be a bit bigger because of that. But this map is still going to be apparently much bigger than Liberty Falls.
From an experience standpoint, kind of like how do you categorize it between the two existing maps of just, you know, Easter eggs and main quests?
Oh, please say it's going to be more like Terminus.
It's a big map. It's dense. You know, it's like Liberty Falls is very simple, straightforward. Terminus is like one of the biggest we've ever made, and we don't have an ocean in this one. So you can imagine kind of like
well, Terminus was so big because of the ocean, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Being a castle, there's a lot of claustrophobic spaces, especially once you get further into the map. Places you don't want to be.
And he did also confirm that the wonder weapons are going to be 4 elemental swords, which is going to be so exciting. He did also say that they will take up your dedicated melee slots, so they're not going to take up weapon slots, which is really awesome.
The wonder weapons.
We know that each map
swords
coming around based on
gotta be swords.
Black Ops 6 has a wonder weapon, so we're just kind of like we're just poking around, you know?
Yeah. So this is what I'll say. We're going to a castle.
Yeah, it's swords. Come on. It's swords
and
elemental swords, please.
Melee slot in this game.
There you go.
And so it kind of made perfect
I knew they were gonna be a dedicated melee weapon. Yeah.
Be the wonder weapons, and another aspect is when we get a chance, we love to do 4 elemental weapons. Something that's really fun.
That makes me happy.
Each player can kind of identify with one of these 4 elemental weapons.
I can't wait to see what they look like
and have a lot of fun. So
I want to scream into the microphone because I can. I'm so stoked for this.
Give me a fire sword. I'll be messing with that fire sword more than anything for sure. In terms of new content that's going to be in the entire game and not just on Citadelle Day More, the brand new field upgrade is going to be Tesla Storm, which was already in Cold War and Modern Warfare Zombies, so it's not really a new one, but the ammo mod is a new one. It is called Light Mend, which essentially spawns these healing orbs when you kill zombies, and they will actually heal you when you're lower on health, which is really interesting. That's a brand new idea that we haven't seen before, which sounds really awesome. I think it's genuinely gonna have a big impact on the gameplay. Next up, Vulture-Aid is returning to Black Ops 6 with the map Citadelle Day More, and the perk machine sounds awesome. He describes it as this vulture that will actually kill zombies if they're near the perk machine, which sounds insanely cool. But obviously this perk we haven't seen since Black Ops 2's Buried, which is insane to see it now return today. We have had perks since then that have done the same thing as Vulture-Aid, or at least very similar things to Vulture-Aid, but this is the first time we are actually getting that full perk machine back. He doesn't describe every single augment that it's going to have, but all he says is that the main perk itself will allow zombies to drop ammo and extra salvage, which is obviously going to be really, really, really useful.
So let's start with the perk, because that's a big deal. Everyone's like, which one is it?
I know, a lot of speculation.
It's Vulture-Aid.
Oh,
which is a perk we haven't
shit.
seen since Buried.
They're actually doing Vulture-Aid. Are you kidding me?
It specializes in making zombies drop things. So now if you drink this perk, zombies can drop ammo. They can drop more salvage.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
There are also 3 new Gobblegums coming. First of all, there's Power Keg, which actually technically is a returning Gobblegum from Black Ops 4. And this one drops a full power power-up, which just gives you your field upgrade right away, essentially. Then there's also 2 new ones. You have Time Stop, which essentially freezes the round, which is kind of interesting. They didn't say how long it freezes the round for, but the way they described it, it sounds like it's going to be for quite some time. And then there's a new whimsical Gobblegum called Holiday Cheer, which makes all the zombies spawn with festive like clothing, which doesn't really sound useful, obviously, but that's because it's a whimsical. Whimsicals aren't meant to be useful, they're just meant to be kind of fun. But really cool to see that we have 3 new Gobblegums. Honestly, they don't sound that interesting to me, but regardless, I'm not really too into this Gobblegum system in this game anyways. I haven't really used them that often myself, surprisingly. They also announced some huge changes to the overall gameplay of Black Ops 6 Zombies. The Mangler spawn rate is going to be cut in half in the upper rounds. Their active spawning is also capped at round 100, so they're not going to continuously spawn more and more and more when you get past round 100, and they're going to be a bit easier to kill. When you shoot their cannon, it will get destroyed a lot quicker than it did before.
You've made it with your squad to round 31, and 4 Manglers immediately spawn in and murder all of you. Are you doing anything about this, Kevin?
Damn. Oh, the fact that they put this in confirms they're definitely gonna nerf Mangler rate, right?
We're gonna be nice.
So they are gonna be.
Starting at season
interesting.
1.5, we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna make the Mangler's cannon easier to shoot off, and we're actually gonna smooth out how many Manglers can spawn and kind of.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad about that. Just don't bring the Manglers back on Citadelle Day More, though, please.
The 4 Manglers
Sounds
scenario.
a little soft to me personally. A little soft.
You love to hear it.
And this obviously is good news because that was one of the main issues a lot of people had with Black Ops 6 Zombies. I personally am worried it's going to make the game maybe a bit too easy though, because I do feel like the Manglers were one of the more difficult elements of Black Ops 6 Zombies. But I hope they can find ways to make the game difficult in other means, because obviously just having a bunch of Manglers spawn is not really a fun type of difficulty. So I'm glad they are changing that. But this also does kind of worry me because the fact that they're making this change makes me think that Manglers might be returning on Citadelle Day More, and I really hope they're not going to return on Citadelle Day More. I do not want to see Manglers in every single map. I think that would just be really, really annoying. They also announced that special rounds will be much shorter, which is great news because obviously that was one of the bigger issues people had with BO6 Zombies as well, where these special rounds just took way too long in the later rounds. Obviously the first couple special rounds are perfectly fine, but once you get to like the 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond, those special rounds can last like 6, 7, 10, even 10 minutes. I had one that lasted almost that long. It's absolutely insane, and very glad that they are changing that. And lastly, there's a brand new game mode announced called Jingle Hells, which actually is a mode from Cold War, but this mode sounds very, very different, and it actually sounds incredible. Like, so good to the point where I really hope it's not a limited time mode, and I hope it actually stays in forever. So this is going to take place exclusively on Liberty Falls, which this I think is going to make Liberty Falls a much better map. I'm going to be completely honest. And what it does is it reskins the map to have snow and frozen rivers and Christmas decorations, which already sounds incredible because one of the main issues people had with Liberty Falls is that it didn't really have that good of an atmosphere to it, but having a Christmas theme to it with snow, I'm all in. Like, that sounds incredible already. There's going to be snowballs that you can pick up and throw at the zombies, which sounds really, really cool. Zombies will drop presents and give you different rewards. The arsenal machine is actually not going to be available on the map, so if you want to upgrade your weapon's rarity, you actually have to do that through other ways, probably through the presents, which sounds kind of interesting. The enemies are going to have different skins to them. They're going to be all festive themed, which also sounds pretty cool. There's going to be special rounds where you slow down and freeze to death unless you seek shelter, so you have to go to the indoor areas of the map during those rounds. That sounds really cool. Like, that's a really cool gameplay element that sounds interesting. There's a Naughty or Nice power-up that returns from Cold War, actually. This was already in Cold War, and in Cold War it gave you either 30 seconds of playhounds or it gave you a present. So it's basically like one of those power-ups that either gives you something cool or something not so cool that actually makes the game a little harder for yourself. So that sounds interesting. There's going to be the main quest active for this mode as well, so if you want to do the main quest, you can in this mode.
So Jingle Hells is coming to Black Ops 6.
Wasn't I saying it? Wasn't I saying it?
Is completely rethemed Liberty Falls and decked the halls completely.
Oh, is it going to be snowy?
And so this
I don't know if it's going to be snowy, but
is set
still.
in winter. The river's frozen over.
Oh,
garlands,
shit.
Holiday
trees,
Wonderland.
snowmen.
That's actually sick.
Is this purely a cosmetic change, or is there kind of any gameplay modifiers there?
No, it's more than that. So there's a lot of just kind of minor tweaks here and there. So Saint Mangler has taken the arsenal away.
Old
so
Saint Mangler.
To get the higher weapon rarities, you're gonna have to use other methods. But there's snowballs in the map, so you can freeze zombies.
Snowballs, bro. That's actually sick. I hope they keep that though. My issue is they're gonna bring that in and just get rid of it like a month later. Like, keep that.
Special rounds that actually, it gets really cold outside and you start to slow down and freeze, so you have to seek shelter.
Wow.
Oh
shit.
So that's gonna be very challenging.
Keep this mode forever,
yeah,
please. I
it'll be
beg
interesting.
of
What we're gonna do is
you.
we're gonna
That
keep the main
sounds
quest on.
sick.
So it'll be kind
Keep
of
the
fun
main
to just
quest
see
on
people,
too. Oh my god,
try to go
that
after
sounds
the main quest with
incredible.
all these
Keep it though, please.
difficulty modifiers. On
That needs to
Just little
stay.
twists and turns here and
Yeah,
there. Yeah, I like that.
Treyarch has also released a brand new image of the new boss zombie from Citadelle Day More, and it looks really interesting. Apparently it's called the Doppelgast, and it looks really, really interesting. It's a little too familiar to the Amalgam in my opinion, because it has a bunch of different heads coming out of it, but I do like all the tentacles coming out of it. It almost reminds me of a mixture of the Mimic, Abomination, and the Amalgam all into one zombie, which is kind of strange. I really am curious as to what it's going to do, like how it's going to act, what it's actually going to do to you. The fact that it's called Doppelgast, it makes me think there's going to be some sort of doppelganger thing going on with it. Obviously, the Mimic already had the ability to pretend to be other things, so I wonder what the Doppelgast is going to do. Is it going to utilize other abilities from other enemies, maybe? I have no clue. You could also see rune symbols around the enemy, which maybe means it's going to be able to have some magical abilities. Maybe it'll teleport. I have no clue, but it definitely looks pretty cool. And that is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about all of this news. Are you happy about it? I personally am happy about most of what they announced in this podcast. Most of it was obviously good news. There's just a lot of other things that they haven't touched on yet, which I really hope they do get to eventually, because there are some big problems plaguing this game. First of all, the lag is absolutely terrible. The fact that in solo matches you can get an insane amount of lag is just not good whatsoever. I really hope they can do something about that in the future. And then also the HUD. The fact that the HUD is still connected between multiplayer and zombies doesn't make any sense. They should be separated. I'm really getting frustrated with the fact that every time I go between the two modes, I have to keep changing my HUD settings. It's just unnecessary wasted time, and I really hope they can make a change to that as well. And then obviously other things like the point system I'm still not happy about, but I just want to see them possibly at least recognize some of those other things that I think definitely need updates within the next few seasons. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I will see you all in my next one. Peace out.